That's not accurate, but I get what you're doing.
It's close enough.
It's pretty close.
You try.
I can't.
See?
No.
Then how you know?
It's not a.
So you got to keep that voice for the rest of the night, right?
Right.
That's your accent. That's it.
Welcome to the Wedding Crashers Podcast. What's up, Crashers?
Started off.
Here we are, back for another episode. Who we got here? We got our hosts. You got me, Tommy, Mike, and
Meh.
Ted.
Yo.
Mike, what was that?
Meh.
Meh. And we got our guest here. You want to introduce yourself?
DJ Vinny P.
DJ Douchebag.
That's it.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Air
That's,
sirens all day.
That's awesome, man. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you on the show. This is legit. Okay, this is legit operation, so we're gonna keep it classy.
I can tell I love the table.
Nah, I'm just joking. The table is dope. All right, table's legit. Table's legit. So what's going
Looks
on?
like fake wood. I don't know.
Not much.
We won't get into that.
It's not.
You know what?
You could see him get angry like
No,
that.
I'm not. No, because it is. So this
Wait,
part.
what?
So hold on. The part we're all leaning on. This is actually oak.
Yeah.
That I made it with, and then I got this table given to me by another photographer who's just getting rid of it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And it was solid, it was heavy. So I start sanding it down because it was painted all black just to get to the, and I could see some wood grain, so I start going into it, and you can see a couple spots where I took the belt sander a little too far.
Yeah, right.
It's laminated MDF. I couldn't believe it. Now that explains the weight.
Yeah.
But I could not believe it. It looks great still. I mean, without even staining it and stuff like that. And this kind of gave it like the kind of wear marks.
Plus, you can engrave it.
Right. Yeah.
Put some dope stuff on there.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Whatever.
Try it out.
Fucking try it out. Dude, try it out. That's awesome.
Yo, let's just jump right into it. We were talking before we started recording. You have a story that's really cool for our listeners about a videographer disrupting you during a ceremony. And it's really important, the whole point of the story.
Well, start to finish. So we were set up. I was with one of the new guys, and we're like ready to go. It's one of his first weddings, so I was there kind of like helping him out. But he was like the star. I was just backing him up. And
Is that how DJs view themselves? You guys are like stars?
No. Meaning there's another.
Like,
No,
like,
bro,
I'm
just kidding.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
kidding.
like, he's the star
I'm
of the
kidding.
show.
I'm
Like,
kidding.
he's over there, and he's
That's
like,
dope.
I'm not gonna interrupt. Like, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
If he messes up, he messes up. You know, not like anything
Yeah,
major,
dope.
but like I'm gonna let you know. Hey, next time this is how you want to do it.
Yo, we need a sound bite right now. That's still like, as he's telling the story, it's still like, I need a hero.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
man.
I don't. It's dead. It's charging. We'll have our soundboard soon. No worries.
All right, good.
All right, back to the
You
story.
gotta have soundboards with DJs. You know.
Right.
And
Awesome.
so I'm telling him, and we're about to have the bride come out. We have the groomsmen, bridal parties all up there, and I'm like, yo, we need the thumbs up for when we're gonna start playing like the whole canon in D. I'm like, we can't start playing it because she only wants a certain amount. She wants to make sure like she doesn't hit this specific note. And I'm like, all right, we got one of those. Like, you can't touch this note, so we got to keep looping it. So one thing I told him was, like, make sure you're ready. Like, the door's open, then you could probably hit it. That's the best time you want to go, because if you hit it early, you don't know if they're going to come walking in.
Right.
Well, first thing he does is he hits it a little bit early, and then the doors close back up. And I'm like, okay, so we got a problem. And, of course, it was the dress. You know, there's always problems with the dress.
Right.
So he brings it back. We start playing their bridal music again. They just wanted the vitamin string. And the dude comes over to us. After we talked, I was like, is there anything you need from us? Like, before anything started, we're in another room. And I'm like, you got to plug in? I like told him straight up. And he's like, nah, we're good. The door opens for the second time, and he comes running over. And he's like, oh, I forgot to plug in. Do you mind if I plug in? I'm like, no, like, we have the most important time. Like, the
Right
bride
now.
is walking down for her ceremony. I told him straight up. I was like, no, you're not plugging in. I was like, if you crash my system, like, odds are you're not. But I've had one time where I had some dude plug in, and the wire hit my main master volume, and then it just shot it all the way down. And I'm like, I got no volume, and I had to figure out why. I'm like, did he unplug something? And it took me an extra minute to figure out it was just master volume turned back up. But still, like, that stuff is just that's amateur hour. Like, we try not to have that. And this dude comes over, and I told him, I was like, listen, you have that happen, you got to be in charge. Like, let them know you can't plug in during the ceremony. Like, you had 2.5 hours that you could have plugged in. And he just never did. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's so important to do that beforehand. Like, everyone's got to be on the ball.
Right,
with
and the
that.
first thing we do, so like as videographers, the first thing we do when we see a DJ at like setting up for a ceremony or anything like that, as soon as we get there, is, hey, we got to plug in. Like, you know,
And
we
we're all
just
mad
touch
cool.
base.
Like, you know how
Right.
it is. Like,
Exactly.
we come in, it's like, yo, what's up? Like, nobody's got
Yep.
any problems.
Right.
It's like,
Let's
you
make
know,
this hey, whenever you're done setting up, you know, we just got to plug in. It's all cool.
that's
you know?
it.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll do a test shot. Like, you know, you guys do the whole volume. Are we good? Mic, are we good? And the whole thing for me is just like, dude, we talk, and if we're cool, then we're cool. Like, we're gonna have a flawless like wedding. It's gonna be a great day.
Right.
But like, if you start messing up, that affects me. Then we're gonna have problems. Like, you can mess up on your side. Unfortunately, like, that's how it is.
Right.
But if you affect me in any way that makes me look bad, then I'm kind of gonna be like a little upset. I'll be like, yo, listen, to be honest, I ain't trying to work with you again if you're gonna be like all over my stuff and trying to make me look bad, because it's just not how I want to roll.
Right. It's understandable.
You know,
That trust factor.
We're all 5 stars here. Like,
Right.
I've worked with Ted already. Like, we had no errors. Like, we barely even had to talk to each other. He's like, I'm taking the bride and groom out. You good? And I'm like, yeah, take them out.
I'm a solid 3 stars. I like
Right,
leave room for
right.
improvement.
Just sort of like to be keep expectations low so that you can always exceed them.
Okay.
Right.
Let's tone that down.
Everybody calm down.
But yeah, so how long you been doing this?
So this is coming up on my 10th year.
Whoa.
But the thing is like, I started out, I'm only 23. So I started out at just the fact, like, I'm working with Nicky G. I'm just bringing in his speakers, man. Like, that's it. He's like, hey, you want to come in and help me lift some stuff up? And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'd love to. And just because he's my uncle, cool guy, always got me started. That's how I, bless up. That's how I got started.
There you go.
This industry is like some place that I would love to be in for the rest of my life. And the thing was, it's, just wrapping wires, start from finish. And then, I moved from him. I started working with my other buddy. He was like, come on over here. We do this full time. Like, we do more weddings, not just like small events. I was like, all right. So started doing that full time. And then started to realize, like, yo, going out, man, if you guys need stories, like, I got stories for days. Like,
so like 10 years ago, you were rocking like Gasolina at a Sweet 16.
No, 10 years ago, I wasn't doing anything on a mixer. 10 years ago, I'm just bringing in
helping and watching.
Yeah, like I'm posting up a speaker on the stand and wrapping up wires. Like, I would stand there and just watch.
That's awesome.
It was only probably about 4 or 5 years ago I started like actually emceeing weddings.
Right.
Maybe about a little bit after that, I was kind of just assisting, like, yo, hit play at this time. I'm going to use the restroom. Like, that's all I got. I was that little bitch that was like, yo, hit play. I was like, all right, cool.
Like,
I could do that. I got it.
That's
I'm
awesome.
ranking up. And then
You just stood there going like this.
like pretending like I was, like all
Yeah.
DJs do,
That's
like
dope.
pretend to do stuff.
Woo!
Make
There it
yourself
is.
look cool.
Yeah.
And then
Do you go ha 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 in the microphone?
No.
That's what you should do. That's a different one. I went Will Smith. You went what's his name?
I forget. Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr. Yeah. That's not accurate, but I get what you're doing.
It's close enough.
It's pretty close.
You try.
I can't.
See? Then how you know?
It's not a.
so you got to keep that voice
'Cause
for the
I heard
rest of the night, right?
Right,
That's
that's
your accent.
That's
it.
That's it.
All right.
That's
All
dope.
right.
That's dope. Awesome.
We watch a
10
lot
years,
of
man.
videos on the internet. A lot.
Oh really?
YouTube's big.
That's a comedy
Netflix.
special.
So where are you based out of?
Violent.
Violent. Okay. And you stay in South Jersey a lot, or you're all over the place?
No, so I actually, this upcoming year is kind of pretty fun for me. So I got 3 weddings that are out of state, and 1 small party, which is just a friend. She's actually like my godmother, so she was like, hey, you guys want to come over? And then since you want to like be here, feel free to like mix and stuff. I was like, yeah, sounds fun. Like, why not bring my stuff on a little travel trip?
Right. There you go.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do that, and started rolling with that. Got another wedding going to New Hampshire. Got another
Nice.
wedding going to South Carolina. So
That's
Nice.
awesome.
travel is going to be kind of fun. I just got to get used
Yeah.
to it now.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fun.
know.
It's super fun. One of the coolest things, though, is every state does weddings differently.
Right,
than we
man.
do.
Don't
And
tell me
that's
that. Don't
not
tell me
in a
that.
bad way. Like, you know how, like,
It's crazy.
here we kind of do the formalities right away, right?
Yep.
Like intros, first dances, toasts. We've been to some states where they're like, oh, no, we don't do the toast till after dinner, or like till almost the end of the night, or the first dances aren't till the end of the night. And you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It's just a different way of doing it.
That's
Or they
weird.
do-
I did have a photographer that came over to me and was like, "Yo, like,
Yeah.
what's the deal?" And I'm like, "All right, well, here's what I got." He's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, we kind of go into the first dance,
Yeah.
then we're gonna go into parent dances for this one. It's a little bit different. Sometimes you separate the parent dances, but
Right.
Even up in Vermont, you guys remember we were talking to the head of the venue there, and we're like, when are they cutting cake? And he's like, sometimes they just don't. We don't get to it. We're like, what?
We were in Tennessee. Like, you think Tennessee, like wild party, country
yeah.
music, all this
Okay.
kind of stuff. Dude, it was a dry wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And they did. So remember, they did it was like intros, dinner.
Right.
No dances, no toast. That all
Right,
happened
nothing.
like
So
way
like first
later.
dance
Way
was
later.
not after intros.
It was like 2 hours into the party,
Right.
which threw us for a loop because we're like
yeah.
ready.
Oh
We're
yeah,
like,
the Vermont
what's
was like
happening?
that, right? Didn't they do parent dances first or something?
Toasts, right? Wasn't it toast?
Did it.
Then they
That's
went to
right,
dinner.
toast.
Right away. Yeah. So like
And then
they
went to dinner
literally
and
the
then
bride
came
and
back.
groom walked in and then stood there, and then the other people walked up to them and did toasts.
Yeah,
That
and
was
then-
Sit
cool.
down.
That was a little different. They had dinner in a different room, which was different.
building.
True.
Oh,
different
I
building,
can't do
yeah.
that.
Million.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I had dinner
It was cool.
in a separate room, and talking about like festivities, like intros first. Dude, trying to communicate with your other like MC while he's in another room,
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, we're actually we have a list that they want to do a different song.
What was
for each
that?
couple.
What do you got? A Nextel?
Nextel.
So this is kind of cool.
Does that still exist?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they
Sprint
Nextel
did
anymore.
something with it for a while, but now you can do radio thing on the Apple Watch.
Tickle? That's an app. TIKL. I thought it was a weird thing for like.
I thought that
for
was
like,
just your pleasure.
No. I'm not into tickling. That shit. It
You
gets
see that
violent.
guy got
It
caught
gets
tickling
violent.
people's butthole
What?
Wait, what?
on Facebook.
No,
He
don't.
saw-
That,
Stop and rewind.
It was
What happened?
It was a guy's mugshot. And it was like he used to break into people's houses and tickle their buttholes.
What?
And he finally
Yes.
got
What
caught.
the-
guys,
That's insane.
he was
What
like
a
a
weird
smile.
radio station.
He was
you
a
listen to
serial-
some weird
Facebook.
news.
He was a serial butthole tickler.
When you saw his face, you're like,
This is the
I
first
believe it.
promo clip of the
Yes.
night.
That's correct. Wow.
No, so you were saying in the different rooms, what was cool there is they were kind of like, guys, like the wedding is on pause. Like,
Yep.
go eat. As in, like they were. It was such a slower pace that they were like the DJ and everyone just shut down. Go eat dinner.
really?
Like you didn't have
Right,
to
yeah,
worry
we-
about the
yeah,
other
We
room.
ate dinner at the same time they did. Yeah.
So it was
in a
really,
different building.
It was really
Can
cool.
you imagine that?
And then and we're asking them, we're like, okay, so when our first dances are going to happen? They're like, when they come back in, we'll figure it out. And you're like, what are you
Yeah, it was
talking
cool.
about? We need a schedule.
Yeah. That's
But
pretty
it was
nuts.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's always cool to be, laid back.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get stressed out in this business, man.
Hell
Yeah.
Like,
Usually we end up being the people that like try to help everyone else not be stressed out. We're like, oh, it's no big deal. It's all good, you know.
But it
And
is.
everyone else is just like,
What are they like?
Kind of come
I'm pretty sure
You
that
do that with
person's
no
having a
sound so I can get the
seizure.
mime effect.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly what I thought it was gonna be. No, do you remember? You remember the first venue we saw that at though? That was or at least the first one I saw. That was the one. Where is it? It's where we had to pay like $30 for parking because we were vendors.
New York City.
No, it was
Philly?
Asbury Park, I think.
Oh, that sounds right.
What one was that?
That's the one where there was like a fight down in the next wedding. There were like 17 cop cars. out
no,
there.
that was Ocean City.
Ocean City. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the.
but there's not even
no, no,
alcohol allowed to be in
Flanders.
Ocean,
Ocean,
like
oh
North,
man,
North Jersey,
Flanders.
Ocean City, right?
Oh.
By
No, I
Asbury,
don't know.
or was it down here?
No, Flanders.
No, you're right.
Ocean
You're right.
City
You're
down
right.
here.
You're right. Yeah, dude, that was nuts. So they had another. The DJ had to have like another speaker and another mic and all that stuff in there,
Yep.
and we weren't plugged into that one, and we were like out of recorder, so
Yeah.
we just had our assistant, the builder, stand there with a Sony recorder like
Yep.
this, holding it towards the microphone, and it was great audio. Do you remember that? It was like, wow, the auto leveling on these things is so good. It picked it up like perfectly.
It was
That's
one of
awesome.
those
Links,
like last
links in the
minute
show
had
notes.
to-
Link in
yeah.
the show notes.
Link in the
Yeah,
show
that place is different. They have a lot of rooms to go
Yeah.
into in
Yeah.
Flanders. A lot
Yeah,
of
it was
rooms.
crazy.
That was actually one of like the first weddings that I've ever set up like the wireless setup. So like we do the
Ooh,
whole
nice.
main setup still, but then like another Bose compact would be like in another room, and that's all just like set up. So technically, you would still be able to plug into the main system and
Oh,
get
that's
all
cool.
that audio. 'Cause
Nice.
it's same
Cool.
same stuff. So
Right, that's dope.
Have you ever done Loretta? Isn't that one that has like issues with that? It's like
not
you
too
got the
familiar.
big dance floor, Loretta Winery. It's
Right,
pretty
it's
sick.
in,
You got the big dance
I think
floor,
I'm actually gonna be there coming up soon.
and
It's in
it's
Chamonix, I think.
almost a different room, but it's not. But it's got brick pillars and brick walls, and everyone
yeah.
has trouble with their wireless mics
Explains it.
going back and forth.
Another place we have is Trump National, I think.
Way up north, or the one closer to here?
Well, one closer to here,
There's
but
one
it just
right here
seems
now,
like
yeah.
certain microphones, like you don't have to even be more than 5 feet away.
That's
'cause you
because
get
they're
it from-
afraid of the hot mic there. You don't want to have any hot mics there.
because you got it from Jaina.
Yeah, you got those Chinese.
All right, reel it back in.
I don't know. I mean,
Trump National is huge. It's huge. The best. It's the best music. And if your mics don't work, sad. Sorry. We had to go there. All right, get it back. Get it back.
In other news,
Hey Ted, is this thing ever gonna fucking charge or what?
I don't know, man. You probably have that like Walmart charger.
Not. Oh, it's in his computer. That's why.
Yep.
I was like, I have like a legit
brick.
cord and the brick plug. but it's in there.
Is there an extension cord?
I don't know,
No.
Ted. I don't see a Apple logo on here, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
I don't know.
you know.
Is that even an Apple iPad? I don't know.
Fucking morons. This ain't no Bobo Android house. I'm just kidding. For years, I'm not allowed to actually say any of that stuff because I was so adamantly Android for a long time. Long time.
You switched, huh? Came to the
Well,
dark side.
I was in school for music, and then I switched my major to computers, and I was like, and that was like the first switch from Apple to Windows and Android. And then when I switched back to photography and stuff like that, I was like, bloop, back to Apple.
Yeah.
So here was my Apple Android controversy.
We said no politics.
No, this one's perfect. This is great. Let's
This
go.
is the most divisive
Just
topic ever.
just to keep this one down. I'm Apple all day. Like I got
Go
a
ahead.
watch, I got the computer, my MacBook.
Yo, stop bragging.
My number one thing, while we got Macs, iPads, iPhones are sitting on the table. Apple stole like
Right.
thousands of dollars from us. Yeah.
Right.
So what thing I like about Apple is that like it seems like it's more compatible. So like if I get something on my phone, it's instantly on my computer.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it comes to like Samsung devices, like they're ahead. I feel like they are ahead. Like
It's more powerful, like hardware and stuff like that. But the problem is, because you have so much access, it's like Windows and Mac. If you're talking about computers too, you have so much access to the firmware, to like everything, to change it however you want.
yeah, but most
That
people don't even know how to use it.
Right, so that it convolutes it, and you get you're allowed to get third-party apps. So people are like, sweet, I can get all these third-party things. Well, they've messed with it so much because it's open source. You can get in there and shit doesn't jive. With Apple, they don't play well with others, and it sucks, and that's one thing I don't like about it. But because of that, it's all closed off. That shit works seamlessly, exactly like you're saying.
I mean,
that's why they can do all that stuff.
Yeah, because like I have no problem. Everybody's like, yeah, it's the same stuff. Like I don't need too big of a change. Like if you change it up too much for me, I don't know. Like I'm gonna start getting nervous. Like I use a MacBook for my weddings.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you throw an update on me, I'm like, wait. I got a
Don't
wedding
worry,
coming
they're not
up
going
this weekend.
to change anything. They put out the same phone every year for 15 fucking years.
You know what though? The only thing is, I've had like the PCs for editing and stuff that were awesome and just as expensive as the Macs, and everyone's like, they're so much better. They're so much better.
They're not.
At least in my experience, they've only lasted me like a year of working hard on them, and then they're dead. Like that MacBook there is coming up on 4 or 5 years. That thing is a tank.
That one there?
That one there, that one's good.
That one goes
Like,
full throttle.
My MacBook and my iMac are never off. They're working 24/7,
Right.
and like they're awesome workhorses.
Yeah,
so
you can't
And,
do that
and one
with
thing
your
about
PC.
us is like all the DJs are like, for some reason we have these conversations where it's like, yeah, I just use my MacBook for a specific DJ. Like I don't download anything on it. I'm like, I don't feel like a problem. I use it for school. I use it for work. And then everybody else is like, no, we need 2 MacBooks. We need 3 MacBooks. I'm like, nope. I need my 1 MacBook. I got my iPad for backup. Like, no, I'm good.
Right.
That's all I need.
So depending on, I know photographers who do that, and some put nothing on it and work off of only external drives. Some put just what they're working on it. I'll fucking murder you. No.
I was gonna say, we just talked about how the MacBook never shut off.
Yeah.
Shit.
So some
lights
people
flicker.
put just what they're working on it. And I will say, I just got a new MacBook, new MacBook Pro, 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And it was, I was like, I'm not going to put anything on this. And then when I went to go get them, the only one that was available had a terabyte of storage on it. And I really only wanted 512 gigs, 256 gigs, because I wasn't planning on putting anything on it. And that's the only thing you got to be careful with. As long as you have the space, your operating system's on there, it's going to be lightning fucking fast. So it doesn't matter.
And then they update it. Like, I mean, if you know what you're doing, the one thing that I love having is just like the lightning cable. Like lightning cable. I mean, I know they advertise their, benefits, but still one thing I noticed is going from just like a regular hard drive to like my Lacey hard drive, that lightning cable is fast.
It's dope.
Like lightning fast.
Hey, that's that podcast with the guy that's got the 35 and the MacBook Pro, right?
Yeah, fuck. I talked about one thing, dude. One thing.
Doesn't he work in a power plant?
I'm just kidding.
I hate you.
Just
and I hate you.
All right.
I got a new lens, right?
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it again.
Is it
Bring it up.
Is it a 40 millimeter?
No.
Is it a 35?
No. Yes. So I got a lens, and I felt the need to share with them since we use a lot of
Wait,
same
this was on the
cameras.
last show, wasn't it? I was just listening to
Nah,
that.
so-
on every show.
So I shared with them the results of it. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good because it's a third party lens. It's like kind of it's a cheaper lens, but it's made with solid quality. I was like, all right, let me check it out. So I shared with them to be like, hey, check this out. This is pretty good. and now they're just fucking ripping
They
on
shot
me.
it down.
I was like I'm talking about it all the time.
But he says that, but he was like, you could sense the excitement, and he's like,
So
God forbid I'm fucking excited about
we
something.
jokingly said someone
just
reached
messing.
out.
Ted
and was
talked about
like,
the Z6 and it's got one card slot. Fuck that camera.
Whoa.
I take it back.
We're talking about exciting things. I see Maki Kora over there, man.
yeah, man.
What? Machikoro? I love that
Maki
game.
Kora, that's my game.
That's a dope game.
Yeah, Monte Carlo is
Target-
almost as good as Settlers of Catan.
No, it's not.
Almost.
It's significantly better.
Yeah, I heard that was
Machikoro,
a
Big
little
Lights,
bit
Big
less.
City is a Target exclusive. Affiliate link in the show
No, I got
notes.
mine on Amazon. Can get
That's
everything from Amazon.
dope.
Just like these
It's dope.
cables.
Yeah,
Amazon Basic.
That's
Saw
sick.
that when I was plugging in.
that's dope. Dude,
Did you know
Great
if you
game,
have
man.
Amazon Prime, you get a discount at Whole Foods?
Yes.
Did not know that.
they
Oh,
own,
dude, if
they
you have
own
Amazon-
Whole
Yeah.
Foods.
Like if there's
That
something on
is- yeah.
sale, you get
Whole
like an
paycheck?
extra 10% off or something like great.
I didn't
Well,
know that.
Trader
cool.
Joe's. Trader Joe's all day, every day.
I mean, that's where I got my Zevia.
Link in the
Affiliate
show
link show notes. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Link in the show notes. Buy lots of them. No,
That's dope.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
It doesn't matter.
My bad.
Yo, we need to get that wheel going where we can just like new topic.
New topic.
Oh, true.
Segue.
No, so what I was saying was my Lightroom was taking 40,
we were talking
43
about
seconds on my old iMac, and now on my MacBook Pro, I can't count to 3.
Yeah.
I'm like 1, 2, 3, and it's right up,
Nice.
Yeah.
right
yeah,
up,
they're awesome.
right up,
Nice.
right up,
You know, try
Right
it.
up.
Try. it.
right up.
So, Vinny, what is your thing for wedding? Like, why? What makes your DJing like super awesome? What's special about your DJing?
So one thing I feel like
Best
now,
question
just
ever.
to put it out there, that I love about our company is that, not to shoot you guys down, but we do it all in one. So it's just like we got photographers, and it's just easier to keep it inside.
That's cool.
Because people have, when it comes to weddings, they
Get-
just stress
get
over
out.
everything.
Get the fuck out.
No, that's
no,
it.
no, I'm kidding. That's
You know what I mean? Because like
no, that's a good
we-
perspective,
We
though.
want to tell people, like, we work with you guys all the time. We're like, we recommend these people, but now we have like photographers, and it's just like, well, we got to push ourselves first.
It's not
Right,
a
of
good
course.
or a bad thing. What it is
Right.
there's one couple out there that is going to value that so much,
Right.
and then there's other couples out there they're going to value piecing it together. Like they're going to want
Right, they
the
want to look for
special-
Yeah.
deals. Or they
Yeah,
wanna look
so
for
like that's
something
not a.
different.
People always argue like, is that a bad thing, good thing? Like, should you do all inclusive? Should you? There's no answer to that.
Right. Some
It's
people want
what-
one-stop shop.
Yeah, what the bride,
Yeah.
or you can't say bride, it's 2019. What the couple is most, what
can't
is
say couple,
important
bro.
to them.
Can't
What
say couple.
Poly.
what the people getting married.
Can't say
What
marry.
the
Can't say people.
Can't say people.
Stop it.
These
Yeah.
humans.
Can't
these
say
life
humans.
forms.
But the positive to that is everybody on that team has always worked together. So there's
clients.
there's
There
no,
it is.
no issue.
Yes.
What the clients
What the
want.
clients want.
Do you identify as a client?
Not right now.
No, me neither.
I'm not buying anything.
Some sort of client.
I'm always buying something.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
always
fine.
buying
So I'm trying to like not
Amazon.
So yeah, that's a positive for sure.
But I
Yeah.
mean, one thing I was thinking about on the way here though was like I was checking some of Ted's stuff out, like just some of his shots. But like, you have a total different mind than like our photographers.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're gonna do is, if we worked with you and we know how you work, then we're gonna realize like this is what you want, this is who you want.
Nice.
I mean, it's not gonna be like, all right,
This is
yeah,
what
we-
you want. This is who you want.
This is who you
And
want.
when you leave, you gotta
gotta
go.
go.
You gotta go.
But
We'll
We
tell
have to
that
tell
story.
him, yeah, we
We'll
have
tell
to
that
tell
story
him.
I
one
mean,
day.
with our photography though, is like people just like we have great shooters, and I love having great shooters that, like you just said, you can work with. You already know what the deal is. We don't even have to like talk that much because like we're already on the same page. But once it comes up, we were talking earlier before we even got started here, is like when we come in, we're all cool with each other. There's no problems.
Yeah.
You come in and it's like, hey, you guys got this. Like, we've been in the business. We know what you need. If you guys need to take the bride out for a certain time, like, let us know. If we're starting festivities, we're going to try and let you know.
Whoa. Not try and let us know.
That's the thing.
I want a goddamn commitment that you're gonna let me know.
So I have to say try now because it's. I was working with somebody else. I was in the back, and I'm like, yeah, I'll let you know when we do like parent dances. Well, I'm not in charge. I'm just sitting in the back, and like he's like, yeah, we're doing parent dances. I'm like, well, photographers are outside. I'm like, they're like eating. They're in the other room. Like, we can't do parent dances. He's like, no, like they want them done now. And I'm like, well, they want the shot of it, so we gotta wait.
Yeah.
And he started that song up, dude, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm out. I'm running. Like, I'm going to get these people because
But
Yeah.
at
Like,
least
you
you
need to
make
have 'em.
that
Yeah,
effort.
right.
When we
Thank
work
you.
with some
Yeah.
bands, they don't.
bands,
Right, that's
bands,
true.
I've never worked, like we have a couple bands. Bands I don't work with often.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
We don't work with a lot of other videographers that often. Actually, we do just from second shooting and stuff like that. But on the day. Usually never.
No, well, see, that's the thing though. Now is like a lot of people are coming into us and they're like, "Hey, can you have somebody that's like playing like the drum, like just add in a beat?"
Oh,
so
that's
it's
cool.
yeah,
back.
that's
I'm like,
sweet.
"Yeah, we
I've
can
seen
do
that.
that.
Like
Like we now offer
fusion?
that. Yeah,
I
like-
love that.
So I mean, it's weird, but
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
So,
That's awesome.
that's
for
it.
sure.
Right.
That's cool. Actually, I just approved. I'm part of a photography group, and I approved someone joining from BME as a photographer. I forget her name.
Angela.
Maybe.
So I think that's
So you
all.
said
Like,
manager and photographer.
yeah, because she's also our front desk. She's
Sweet.
amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
She's like she like helps me in my personal problems.
That's dope. That's
Like,
important.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends.
It is good to have friends. Can't be alone in this
But yeah,
world.
so
You know-
oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was
Nah,
gonna say
there
the
you go.
story of the guy.
When you go, you gotta get. When you get, you gotta go.
All right.
Tell it.
So we're pulling up to the Philly Bridal Show, right? And we get you load in the back. It's basically a giant
Load-in.
parking
Oh,
garage. It's like a
load-in's
giant
the
parking
worst.
garage, right, underneath the Philadelphia Expo
Convention
Center, right?
Center,
Convention
yeah.
Center. So you pull your cars in, and you get your stuff in there, and like you can unload like in the building with
Okay.
your car in the building, which is
Yeah, it's
sweet.
sweet.
If you do it the day before. If you do it on the day of, they let you pull up to the back door and do it, but it's not like a parking area.
At least they let you on the back door.
Yeah.
So this guy is on this. It's like a little like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like
Is that
this
the
little
sound you make?
fucking.
It's like a little Zamboni.
Yeah, it's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like one wheel in the back. It's very strange. So anyway, he rolls up like that, and he's like, "Hey, you can't stay here." And we're like, "All right, well, can we leave? Can we load in?" He's like, "Yeah, but when you leave, you gotta go."
And when you go, you gotta get.
like-
And we're like, what? I was like,
yeah, that's
right,
cool. That's cool
right?
with us.
I was like, when you leave, you gotta go. Got it.
That has been like our motto
We're like,
since.
what? Anytime someone's saying like, well, what are you guys about? We're like, well, you know, when you leave,
People
you gotta
must
go,
think
and when you
we
go,
are
you gotta
crazy.
go.
When we talk
that-
like at events and they hear us like mumble to ourselves things like,
Yeah, 'cause nobody
what
else
are they
knows about what's
talking
going on.
about?
Try it out.
Try it out.
You can try it. A lot of
Try it
people.
out.
A lot of people know try it
Try it
out.
out.
That's shout out to your mom's house podcast. Not that they'll ever hear this, but they
When
just
you leave, you gotta go.
they discovered the try it out guy from one of
Oh
their
my god, the
listeners.
iPad just turned on.
Whoa! How long have we been?
Too bad we don't know the password.
Right? Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah. So there's a password. No, I'm just kidding.
So, wow, that was loud.
What?
Most of our Jesus Christ.
What are you yelling about, man? Calm down.
So what I was trying to say.
I was gonna say.
Careless whisper.
So like our I hate all of you. I was gonna say our listeners are like it's everybody in the wedding industry, but a majority of them are photo video, so they're gonna be working with DJs.
Right.
This could be a good time to talk about like what makes it easier to work with you. Like we don't usually have the person from the other side to talk to it.
So just from my point of view, I don't know about anybody else, but I just know from our company, like we all work differently. So like I have no idea how another DJ is going to come in, but just from the basics, like we said, if you're asking to plug in, let me know before we
Yeah.
do a sound check. Everything's going to roll. My big thing is like, I feel like coming into the business though, I thought like the DJ was always in the back. Like I was like, man, we're the back end. Like we're playing the music, but then I started to get more into it, and it's like, all right, well, I've done so many weddings now where like the maitre d' isn't doing their job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
who else are we coming to?
Right.
And like, I'm starting to realize it's like that's us.
Right.
Like,
It's funny that there's times as photographers, the video, I feel like almost less so, but photographers have to step up into that role sometimes to keep things on track to make sure they get, especially I feel like if they're booked hourly, to make sure that like, hey, I'm only here until this time.
Right.
So we need to get this stuff in by this time or else it's not going to get photographed.
and my thing is like the cake is the last thing that usually gets done with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, what time you guys here till? Like we have a timeline. Give me your timeline. I'll write that down on my paper. Ted, I think when we did our wedding together, you were there the whole time. So we had no problems. Like he was like, yeah, just let me know. That was actually a little bit of left and right. I was like, are we ready to do cake? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like about to play a cake song, and they're like, we're not doing the cake. I'm like, we need another song. And that kind of screws with us just from not sticking to a timeline, because then it's like,
Yeah.
well, I could have had 2 more songs
Yeah.
where I just like had the dance floor going still.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my bride that I'm going to have coming up, and she was saying, I'm like, the breakdown is you get like an hour and a half of dance. Like that's all we get now.
Yeah.
After festivities, after you get like your photos done, depending if you want the shots outside for just like a nice sunset view, but like an hour and a half is like what we have. And if you break it down, I mean, each song is about 3-4 minutes, but we don't play the full songs most of the time now. So we try and get in what we can. But she was like, oh, well, this changes my whole like, setup. Like, I don't even know what to pick now for my songs. Like, what do I pick? I'm like, well, we have a priority list that you kind of like want to have a must play. And the big thing is like a do not play, obviously. You don't want to be playing songs. I played a song not too long ago at Smithville Inn.
Nice.
Oh, man. And like, I'm talking to my DJ and I'm like, yo, it's just dinner. I'm like, I'm going to play this song and it's going to kill it. No. No. He's like, yeah.
What song was it?
Dude, it was Casey and JoJo. They're all, oh my God. All For Me? Is it All For Me?
I forget.
Not
Why
all
can't
my
I-
life.
All My Life.
I've been
Wow.
waiting for someone like you. That one.
Yep.
And it had a bad
Number one. Well, so
Yeah, that's dope.
I'm talking to him and I'm telling
Sounds
him, I'm like,
fucking
yo,
dope.
we're going to kill it. But like I said, we 2 DJs. So he was the MC. He was the one talking to the bride. She had one song on the
was
do
that?
not play list, which I did not have access to
That's
because
dope.
like I didn't need to really know about it because like he's like, yeah, there's a song. I think we talked about it. He's like, there's one song, but it's just one song. We're probably not gonna play it tonight.
Oh, and
I
you
was
killed it.
like,
That's
I was
dope.
like, yo, are you ready? And like everybody's jamming out, but I look across and you guys been to like Smithville?
Yeah, yeah.
And like she's sitting right across from me, man.
Staring you down.
And
Oh,
she's staring me down. Like,
she's
she's
like,
giving me
you-
the eye, dude.
I literally said not to play the one song.
But she was so chill. Like you gotta have like brides like that.
Yeah.
You
Life.
literally ruined her wedding.
So
day.
the lesson
I
there
ruined it,
is
like single-handedly.
the
Like,
lesson
done.
there is always look at what that sheet says.
Even if it's just one song on the
Yeah.
do not play list.
Like it's one song. What's the chances? And it's like,
Yep.
Damn,
I don't
hit
know.
it.
Yeah, it's some fucking Bruno Mars song at every wedding.
It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. How did I think she was gonna pick that?
Yo, that's actually a good topic though. Like for DJs, have you ever had like where you're like you're gearing up for a set and you're like this song's gonna it's like
song's
we're
it.
gonna blow this out.
and
It's
then it
gonna be-
blows the
and then,
dance
like,
floor
the
away.
dance floor-
Like gone.
Dude,
Yeah.
we
hype
see
ourselves up
that
like
a
that.
lot.
Dude, we were at a wedding. It was a Puerto Rican
wedding?
family, and I forget what the other family was, but so it was like they were all out Latin dancing, like all kinds of awesome stuff. This dude drops Mi Gente, clears the dance floor.
Miente.
Fucking cleared the dance floor.
Wow.
Who clears the dance floor on Mi Gente? I'm like, dude, that song is dope.
Was it
and,
a-
and everybody just like walked out.
That wasn't
that
his
a-
fault.
Yeah, so
that
one
was
of-
like
We were like,
one of my
what the
favorite
fuck
songs,
just
which I
happened?
have, if we're bringing that one up, dude, is I use DMS, but our thing is like DMS and DJ City.
You mean DMX?
Nope,
No, I'm just kidding.
this is DMS. I love DMX, but everybody's saying that's like the recovery song. Party up, dude. You ain't got nothing to do. Just throw a party up. Dance floor's gonna go wild. DMS. It's where I get my music from. They have this awesome like mix where it's just they do Miente in the candy shop, and it's like the tone plays, man.
Nice.
And like nobody knows what's coming, and I don't even try and play it off like I'm doing it because I'm like, nope, like I can't do that. Sorry, I'm just playing the music for
Literally
you.
not
like,
that good.
yeah, literally not that good.
that's fun for us though. Like we have like our one buddy Manny, who has
Oh
this
my
weird
God, he's
skill of
so
like he
good.
mixes songs you would never think of. Like I've seen him mix like these hardcore EDM songs and go into like country boy, like the country song, but like it works.
It does work.
And people are still dancing. I'm over there
Because
like, what the
it's just-
fuck
What's
just happened?
Because like the number one thing is for me is you get into your sets, and then like you're in a set, you play 4 or 5 songs, and
We don't know actually, but
you guys know.
I do know most people are gonna start
We
with
do
like
know.
the oldies and like
but that gets
and, like,
people
run
up.
around Sue and stuff like that, and then go into like the hardcore hip hop as the night goes along. That seems to be every wedding now.
Well, see, I if it's not like the crowd that seems like they have majority of like older crowd, I'm not going to like the
Yeah.
run around Sue
Right,
at the
right.
beginning. I don't know. I want to be different.
I was
Right.
I was just
please do.
I was just at a wedding, and this is the point where the DJ is like just done. And, like, it was a bunch of like the older guests dancing. He was playing like that set where it's like Run Around Sue, ABC.
Morse Code of Love.
No,
Twist
he
and shout.
yeah, no, he drops Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. And like plays it for a good 2 minutes, and everyone's just sitting there like,
Wait,
the
was that
dance
that
floor's
wedding? That sounds
empty.
familiar.
I think you were
They
like,
did that last night. Or,
No, see, I would never play that,
that's
being the
awesome.
amount of times
played
that I've
that?
actually
Yeah,
been
that's
to a
what they
wedding
came
and
out
somebody's
to.
like hit the floor.
no,
Yeah.
not that.
Like you
but-
guys been there, right?
Yeah.
What?
Like we're all in the same page. Like, have you ever been to a wedding where like you're doing your thing and like somebody hits the floor, and you're like,
Oh, you're talking about somebody actually dying?
Time to, yeah.
No, we haven't
No,
had it.
we
We've heard
haven't had that.
stories.
No,
Like,
I've
didn't-
heard
didn't
stories.
Didn't happen to you one or no?
No, the Mater D told the story of he's like of the other DJs. Like, yo, you remember that time you killed that guy?
I've
Oh
never
my
killed
God.
anybody, thank God. But we
which
do
is
say,
not a
like,
laughing matter.
Bro, we're
but-
killing it. We're killing it.
Yeah. But
Oh, that's rough, man.
no, but you're just playing the song, man, and you're coming about, and like the whole set's got to change because somebody hit the floor.
Oh, dude.
Like that's
Really?
it. Like you,
Yeah.
dance floor's gone. Like
Right.
you're no longer playing Get Low. Like
Yeah, I
that
haven't
dude got
had
low.
that.
He got as low
You don't
as he
just
could.
let the normal playlist keep going. You
Dude.
change it up there.
One of the worst split seconds of my life. I was doing this wedding. It was like a South Philly wedding. Like, I mean, like I think their names were like Tony Gabagool and Marie Mutzadel. like we're there doing the wedding, and everybody's up and dancing. Like the whole family's out going nuts. Oh, come on! No, it's fine. So the whole family's out going nuts, right? Like, I mean, everybody's on the dance floor, and I just walk past Grandma as she's falling of her own volition. I'm not doing anything, right? So like, and everybody's hammered out of their mind. So I'm just like going this way, or going this way. I gotta speak in the microphone. Going this way, and I skirted around. I didn't even come near her, and she like was doing a move and went a little too far. Grandma hits the floor, right? And this guy just turns and looks at me, and goes, "Did you do that?" And I was like, "Whoa, man, no." I was like, I was just walking by, like, holy crap. It
That's
was not,
funny.
dude. It was scary. It was
Where'd
scary.
you get this guy?
I was like, dude, this guy just think like Vinny Gabagool thinks I just like rocked his grandmother. Like, I'm like this is not gonna end well for me.
You gotta say no. I pronounce it rogot. I pronounce it rogot.
Why was that like Arabic?
That's how my wife's
Weird.
family says it.
They would have been like, this guy's not from here.
Shall not pass.
What else? It worked. You know it.
What other crazy stories you got now that we're in this?
Well, I kind of put a
Can't
couple of
turn
notes
back
down.
now.
Oh my God! When I first started, guys, are you ready for this?
We're
Did
ready.
you wipe that spot up?
I
You
did.
had to lick it
Did you
up.
just get your finger in there?
Nah,
Just,
man, I licked
just,
it up
just
a
kind of
little
like
bit.
go
Licked it
on.
Ted's here. So
Actually, so
Dun,
the
dun,
wedding,
dun.
the first wedding I shot with you was pretty interesting. I hired a second shooter, my friend Bonnie, to come on with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like when I was going through my initial parts of my MS.
Oh my God, that
And
was
so-
actually a year ago.
So like, I was like, I don't know if you noticed, I was like hobbling around, like bouncing on things. It was like I wasn't standing up real straight. It was not from alcohol. It was from my nervous system being weird.
Literally.
But yeah, that turned out to be an awesome day, man. We had so much fun. I cried like 6 times at that. Like Mario and Noel are such amazing people. I've done stuff with their family for years. Like it was so cool to like meet some more
that is
people in
your
their
family.
family and crew.
is this gonna take a funny turn? Because we just went from like funny, hilarious
No, just like
stories to you're
reminiscing
getting all
with my old buddy
sentimental.
here. Yeah, it was fun.
No,
No,
yeah,
no,
that
it
was
was
a
good.
good one.
They're a
And
great
the
couple.
reason I also like that is to bring it back to like more professional wedding type
Bring it back.
ordeal is that Noel had been on the dance floor from like start to finish.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
And it was because at the Camden Boathouse when you're there, it's they were like redoing everything. They were going from like splitting the room up to going to like one whole room. So their cocktail hour is in the other room, but it's also like then people mingle. Like you can't prevent like a lot of mingling when it rains outside. So they're like, we're bringing this whole thing into like the hall, like with the reception. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we're playing a little bit of cocktail music, and then we kind of went into a little bit more of the dinner style and broke cocktail down a little bit earlier. So that way we can actually start dance up earlier. Because like when you have that all in one section, like we have control of what's going to like how the length's going, because if the venue's cool with you doing your thing, then you can control just by the music playing.
Yeah.
So we just happened to start like with My Girl was a special request, so we put it on there. She came out to the dance floor, and then like that dance floor packed from dinner till the end.
That's so good for us for like photo and video, because a lot of times the bride's out there for like 5-10 minutes total the whole night.
It is hard to be a
Dude,
bride.
talk about the bride, talk about the groom.
Well, the groom, the groom is harder to
We've
catch.
shot weddings. That wedding that you made the guy mad at, the one winery, the one where that guy tried to fight you. I had to protect him. I jumped in front of him. I said, "You're not going to touch Ted."
Fighting,
I said, "Ted's my friend. You're not going to hurt him." That didn't happen.
And then they hugged it out.
But yeah, they hugged it out. It was good.
That was next week I hugged out because I saw him again in Morristown.
Right. He pretended he didn't know who you were. So we're at this wedding, and like it was, dude, it gets so sad sometimes. You see the bride out there, and somebody will ask her like, "Where's so and so? Where's the groom?" And she's like, "I don't know." And like
Yeah.
you can tell she's like kind of pissed that somebody asked, and pissed that he's not there. And it's like, he's out smoking cigars with his buddies or something like that. It's kind of hard to balance that because it's like the day about YouTube, but at the same time, you're seeing people you may not have seen in like 2-3 years, right? Like,
well, I was going to say
I don't know why I said it like that. 2-3 years.
2-3 years. Well, we also look at
full
it.
throttle.
We all look at it as like the dance, the party. That's the main thing. But for the couple, like that might not actually be the main thing. Like maybe it is. Chatting it up with the. I know I didn't dance much at my wedding at all.
Right.
Like, but now looking back, like should have. Like
Well, I danced a lot at my wedding.
Is that a big regret of yours?
No.
Well,
do you want to talk about it?
The one story that
I'm pretty sure we just got blasted at your wedding.
Now, since we had that whole story going, the Spotify list, to bring that back around, huge fan of Spotify list because like it just gives the bride and groom just like the ability to like put all their songs on a list. Mm-hmm. But we also have an online planner. So we have brides and grooms that are like, yo, you can just put it all online. And they're like, no, we made a Spotify list for you. And we're like, well, you can put it online. Like that's like what our paperwork.
You can put it online, or I'm gonna have to put it online.
Or I'm gonna have to put it online.
Can you please put it online?
Yeah, and but like it's a big thing now. Like everybody uses Spotify. Yeah. Like I go into work and like we're just using it for some of the kids too. Like they have the whole like Baby Shark is a thing, dude. Yeah. That's on the list.
That's
like.
Dope.
Yeah, I've seen that at weddings
recently.
You ever
seen the Baby Shark remixes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've seen the Santa Claus remix. What else is there?
I saw
no. Crank That remix too.
Yeah. No, dude, I saw a thing online. It said like in 20 years from now, you're gonna be in a club and they're gonna play. You're gonna hear this one's going out to all you people, and Baby Shark's gonna come on and the crowd's gonna go fucking wild.
No, man,
it's true. Well, only if it's the original thing. I learned something.
My pro tip. Wait. Go ahead.
Ted barely talks.
Yeah. I was gonna tell a Ted story.
Geez. No, go ahead. Tell a Ted story. No, I was gonna.
Yeah, we were at a wedding recently. I don't think it was the one. No, it was a wedding show, and I learned something about Ted. When that Baby Shark song drops, it better be the original version.
I agree.
Ted does not like.
Yeah,
there's a dance version.
So this is like this is his version. This is like what happens.
No, God,
dude, the DJ at the show dropped like this really awesome version of "Shallow." And I was like, this is sick. Like, I could get into it and look over, and he's like, I hate this. The original one is good. I don't like this.
Yo, I played a remix of September to clear the dance floor, but, like, it works at, like...
Sometimes you need to.
It works at, like, it works at other events, dude. It's just, it's
Vinny's
hard.
like, yo, you want to see a car wreck?
Do you ever see the Valentine's episode of Parks and Rec where Chris Traeger is the DJ, and it's like he just broke up with somebody, and he's like playing these like whale sounds, like, bro.
Yeah. Bro. Is it like, it's like Ted Mosby's Best Man speech?
Yes. Well, they also have, I was just watching, where they have the office Christmas party. And then like the dude's like, yeah, I got this amazing DJ, and he comes in and it's him, and he's like, boo 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 boo, like all day, and I'm like, that's us.
Hey, so pro tip to all DJs is half joke, half serious, but every time there's like a lull and he's just trying to get people back on the dance floor, I'm like, yo, dude, Cotton Eye Joe.
It's big. It
works.
I
want to say,
don't listen to me.
It works.
I object to this.
Yeah, that's not a Wedding Crasher's opinion. Okay, that's just one man. That does not speak for the group.
I've had it, dude. It works.
We need the thing to pop up. That's
it's just a big thing in certain places.
This is not the opinion of the producers of this show.
Right. Jeez, Cotton Eye Joe.
That's like that meme that's like, where's America? Hold
maybe
on
in
one
Alabama,
second.
New Jersey.
All right,
that's Atlantic County to you.
That's right. No, Salem County.
So back to marketing to your bride and things like that. I actually just got done a game seminar, and the number one thing that I thought was dope, which photographers can do it too, but after a bride and groom get married, most likely their next thing is, maybe a house or just even have a kid. Like 1, 2, it's just follow up. Like one guy was saying that he made a baby book to just call my attention because like he realized that you're having a kid after, like this is a book you can read to your baby, and like
that's cool.
Amazing reviews just from being able to send out like a kid's book. That's it. Like that's all it was, is amazing reviews, and all he did was be like, oh yeah, congratulations on the new kid. Here you go.
That's awesome. Was it photographer or DJ?
DJ.
That's cool.
DJ author.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, I mean, to follow up and like to start up, I think just communication with the bride is like huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Number one, like how can we make everything like the best for you? How can we just specifically like make sure that you guys have a great night?
We actually had our guest or a few episodes ago, whenever it's going to be. Jenna what's her Gentleman
DeHart.
Photography?
DeHart.
Gentleman DeHart.
Oh, yeah, it's
Gentleman
Gentleman
Photography. Yeah, she talked about being an advocate for your client, which is like it's such a strong word,
Yes,
and
it is.
it's perfect because that's exactly what it is. It's like every decision you're gonna make, every thought, every decision you make during the day has to have that in mind.
Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody today. Somebody was asking me in a casual conversation about what we call Uncle Bob's, right? Like
Uncle Bob's camera store.
yeah. So like a a family member with a nice camera that wants to be up in everybody's. And they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, try to avoid it if it becomes disruptive and we're not able to do our jobs. I have to go to the usually would say go to the bride and groom and say, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" Because it's got to be up to them. I'm not going to go tell this guy off because it's their family member that they care about. They invited him to the wedding. They're obviously an important person. But you got to be able to do your job. And at the same time, try not to bother them with that stuff. So work around it as much as possible. Maybe mention to the person, say, hey, do you mind standing over here just so we can get our shots? But if it becomes disruptive, at some point, you kind of have to go there.
On Jenna's topic, though, I think we do this a lot and it's a little different than what most photographers and videographers
You're out over there.
The way they see weddings.
Some dead soldiers.
It seems like a lot of photographers and videographers, they see the wedding as their wedding.
Right.
Like, it's all about the photos and the videos. Like, they will push that uncle out of the way. They don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, like a boss, you got to remember, like, that, they don't, like, that family member doesn't really care about the photos and videos.
Right.
Like, they're just at a wedding with their family having fun.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah.
we work with them a little more. Like,
Right,
than
we try and
what
do
some
that.
people
Yeah.
say they do because you just want to be, for the couple.
Right, and the way to do that is to make sure that you have almost like processes and procedures down to like
Yeah.
I know I've covered my bases and everything else is extra, so I know I'm gonna hit like I've gotten my awesome creative shots, I've gotten the stuff. I know that there's stuff that works every single time that I can get, not the same shots every time, not anything like that, but like I know I got all my stuff covered and it's so dead on that like if somebody's gonna get my way for this, okay, I got my base covered over here with this camera or.
Yeah,
I can go to this next angle or whatever. It's being practiced enough to be able to adapt rather than have confrontation.
That's what I meant. I don't mean like
Right.
I wouldn't let them get in my way.
No, of
but
course not.
You could definitely be like, "Hey, man, come stand over here." Like,
Yeah,
you're
that's
gonna
my
get an
number
awesome
one
shot.
thing,
Like,
dude, is like trying to remember where you guys post cameras on.
Yeah.
Like, because
some of it's not.
Why? So you're not you?
yeah,
You
dude,
guys
I had a
forget.
wedding where like my back was like
Covering it up.
covering a video,
Oof.
and I'm like, man, like you told me about the two over here, but you didn't tell me
Yeah.
about the one that was like sitting in front after I
Right.
told you this is where I stand. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm sorry that I covered your shot, but like I was like, hey, I see you got two
I wish
cameras.
I knew. Yeah.
Like, but like
Right.
I didn't realize you put this one last minute right behind me, and after
Yeah.
like this is where I stand. Like I try and stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Well, it's nice of you. Thank you.
yeah, well,
Well,
you know,
where
you
were
gotta make
they?
sure but the thing was, is like it was literally right in front of my equipment, and I'm like, this is where I stand because like right in front of my equipment is like where you'll see all my presents. Like that's me. That's how I want to be seen.
You give presents
Oh, you get
at a
presents?
wedding?
That's really
No,
sweet, man.
Sit down for presents.
My
Why don't we get
presents.
presents?
Oh, good for you.
But I don't know. It's just it's hard to keep track when you got
Yeah.
10 people at a
Yeah.
wedding that are shooting. Like you got
Right.
2 photographers, 2 cinematographers, 2 videographers. Like
Oh, you
everything's
used the
there.
cinematographer
Oh, man,
term. Look at you.
We're gonna be best friends. I
Cinematography
like
is-
that, man.
Well,
That's
because
dope.
cinematography is what we have. So
Well, I like what you
That's
said
what
though.
should
Like
be.
everybody should have the mentality of we're here to make the bride and groom's day amazing or client's day amazing.
Right.
I think you do that. I think you do a good job of that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, number one thing, make sure start to finish, you kind of find out what you got. Let them know this is how we do our thing. Hopefully this is the way you like it. If not, I mean, here's who we recommend, because
Yeah.
there's no point of like fighting with somebody if you're not going to make it like the best thing that they could do.
Yeah, and you always got to remember there's so many weddings
Yeah.
out there. Like you don't have to
Right.
get them all.
Nope.
Like
Right.
it's-
And you just, and like you could be picky
they're not
with them.
Pokemon. You don't got to catch them all.
You could be picky with
Or
them.
but you do.
Yes, you
if
do.
if you
Pokemon.
kind of can. Like if you have the ability to like start to be like, all right, we we realize like this isn't our strong suit, then you got to pass it on
Yeah.
to the next DJ.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. There's clients that don't fit. Right. Then there's people who want a certain thing that I'm like, that's just not my style.
Yeah.
Like with the boudoir photography business that I run, it's like there's people who want to come in and do, like certain like super creative sessions that other people may do, like cosplay stuff or something like that. And it's just, I'll be like, I'll tell you what I can do. I can try and make that fit in my style, but I can't guarantee it's going to be like, I'm not going to throw up a green
Yeah.
screen or anything like that. Like this is art. This is the style that I have. And I'll try and merge our two visions, but I can't just do that. And if you want that specifically, you're going to have to go, I can help you find somebody else. And I think that's the key to something like that.
Yeah.
If you're not the right fit, help them find somebody
Yeah.
else, because they may go, hey, thanks so much for that. And when their friends looking for a DJ, they'll be like, well,
This
what do
is
you want?
Yep.
Oh, you want to go to this guy, right? Like, my guy
yeah.
may not have been perfect for you. This is what you want.
And on that, like, and that's probably where you learn your biggest lessons is when you try to like, oh, I can do it all.
Don't.
And I can do it that way, even though I've never done it before.
Or do.
I'll
We've
try
all
it.
done that.
Just try
And,
it
like,
out.
You end up trying it out, and like, if it's not really your style or your niche, and it's not something you're like planning on moving over to, usually you make a mistake or something, or it just doesn't fit you or your style, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So when do you guys try out like your new style? Like when do you do you
Not on
practice?
weddings.
January.
No, but like where you well for us, like my thing is like I learned a new game, right? Games don't really fit weddings as much sometimes, but like
Right.
I've been noticing a lot of DJs are like, no, this is perfect for a wedding. So my next wedding, I was like, hey, this is how I feel about this game. I wanted to tweak it a little bit, make it more like fittable, or like not fittable. Fittable
Make
is
it
not
fit.
a word. Make it
Make
fit.
it fit. Yeah.
Dope. Oh, man, I missed
And
it.
so
That's what she said.
so I'm like, hey, can we like, do you feel comfortable with trying it out? And they were like, no. And I'm like, all right, well, perfect. Like, obviously, if this is how you feel, because it was like a turnoff on the dollar dance.
Right.
So when you're going to a wedding, everybody's already thrown out mad cash. Well, this is like a new game to like replace the dollar dance, where the whole point of a dollar dance is that you give somebody money for their honeymoon. And it's like, all right, well, you just give $1 or $2. And the game was like, you know, you could offer $1, $5, $10, $20.
Right.
And the point is that like somebody should be taking home the cash. And the thing is like, but they're already putting out a shit ton of money for the wedding. Like, they're like, we don't want people to like throw out even $1.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. So like, it's hard to figure out. Like, I feel like if you don't have a personal level with your bride and groom, or your brides or your grooms, however it's going to be, then you need to find a spot to like try and be able to like talk to them. Like, hey, is this fit for you? Like, is this what you want to try out? Like, because the shoe game
they'll
was
tell you.
huge. The shoe game was huge.
Right.
And then I tell them, I'm like, but listen, you have to realize the bad side to the shoe game is that it takes up mad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to eat? Do you want to meet like everybody and like say your what's ups, say your hellos, say your goodbyes, like, or do you want to have like a shoe game and you're kind of going to cut some dance time out?
I think you just nailed it. It's all about like before the wedding, you got to say like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, like I just did it these past 2 weeks where it was like, hey, we came up with this new technique we want to try at night, and like you just tell them about it. Like, is that something you guys want to do? Like, we're super excited about it, and they all said yes. But if they said no,
They said
okay,
no,
you
yeah.
don't
Then
do
we
it
don't do
on
it,
that
right.
wedding.
Yeah.
Mike always says something that resonates with me. It's like lay out every option for them. When like someone asks something, just lay it all out on the table. Say, here's what it is, and let them decide.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Give them the good and the bad. Here's everything we can do.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
like
they
you said
it,
with
go
the
for
shoe
it.
game.
And that's what's us.
That's how we
why
do.
We know.
That's how we do our packages. Like, it's no like, hey, you need to get this. It's this is what they are. This is what's good. This is what's bad. This is what might work. What do you think's gonna work?
Because if you come out with just honesty and let them know, they're going to be more comfortable with you. They're going to be more on the friendly level, and it's going to make the just weddings a lot better in the end result.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're going to get the reviews you need, and everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah. It's all about communication.
Right.
Communication.
Dude, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll
Awesome.
be back
Seriously,
soon,
this
guys.
has been great.
But yeah, thanks so much, dude. This is awesome. Thanks
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you,
coming on.
guys.
This has been a
Yeah,
blast.
man. This was cool.
Can't
right,
wait to work another wedding with you soon.
Killed it.
All right, some outro music.
We have outro music. All right.
Everybody